Hi guys, so today we're going to be doing CHING number 32. I am really starting to catch up on my CHINGs. I normally do 50 items each time I do a CHING, and I am finally getting caught up, it feels like, which I guess is a good thing but also a bad thing. As always, I'm going to start off where I left off, and then at the end I'll talk a little bit about any kind of issues that have arisen lately as far as eBay goes. So we stopped at a set of mixing bowls. These were by a brand called Malibu, and I think they were made from some sort of like recycled bamboo material. They were brand new. It was a 3-piece set. I sold those for $29.99, and they actually were given to me by my father. One of his old jobs before he retired, he worked somewhere that had like an employee store within their place of business where they could buy stuff for like super cheap, and he got those for me, as well as a set of pink KitchenAid mixing bowls. And I kept the KitchenAid ones. I've been using them ever since he gave them to me, but these ones here specifically I had, and I just never even used them. They were just sitting in my pantry taking up space, and I have other mixing bowls as well other than even the KitchenAid ones, so I decided to list those. Next was a purse. This was by a brand I had never heard before, and I'm probably gonna butcher the name of it. Nueva Dive. It was an Italian purse. It was made of Italian leather. It was really nice. I found it at a thrift store. I can't remember what I paid for it. Definitely not over $5, and that sold for $25.99. Next was a vintage 80s bell charm. This was just a plastic telephone charm. This sold for $9.99. If you ever come across these vintage 80s bell charm, plastic charms, they definitely sell really well, especially if they're on a necklace with lots of other charms attached. I have sold necklaces full of the charms in the past, and they have sold for good money. This was just one like random one that I had. Definitely considering what they are, like some of them are more desirable and sought after than others. The only thing is with these, you have to be slightly careful, because I know there was a craft store that kind of brought these back out, so there are new ones floating around that aren't actually vintage but look like the vintage ones. I myself am not even entirely sure how to tell which ones are and which ones aren't, though when you come across the vintage ones, it's kind of obvious as far as like wear and tear of them and just, you know, how they look overall, for being so old, like discoloration and things like that. Next was a set of those pillowcases. I have been selling a couple of these since I purchased them. This was a set of the Canon. They were a pink floral pillowcase. I'm pretty sure these went to a subscriber, and they sold for $17.99, and I did pick those up at a yard sale recently for $1. Next thing was a really weird sale. I love the weird sales. This was an empty Gucci shopping bag. So something you would have got had you gone to like the Gucci store and purchased something. Who does that? I don't know. Anyway, I actually got this from a yard sale. Like, I purchased something at a yard sale, and the people put it in a Gucci shopping tote. I was just kind of like, okay. So yeah, apparently people buy these empty shopping bags. I sold it for $8.09, and it was free to me. I think my thinking and understanding of why someone would want one of these, you know, a lot of people, especially like maybe like younger girls, like to organize their closets in such a way, you know, to have like the nice high-end designer brand like shopping totes like sitting on top of the shelf in your closet, and then you can stick like your small accessories in and stuff like that, like the wallets you're not currently using and things of that nature, just to keep things organized and look really like fancy and pretty. That was my understanding. I also think I may have marketed it as like a gag gift, as far as like you know how sometimes people put like something that's not something else in a box for like Christmas. It's really a really rude thing to do to someone, but you know, to put like you know, something in the bag that's not actually going to be Gucci and give it to someone for Christmas. I wouldn't suggest doing that to someone, but you know, there are people out there who like to play pranks like that. Next was a Kellogg Snap, Crackle, and Pop Christmas ornament. I already sold one of these. I think one of these was in another CHING video of mine. This one sold for $8.99, and I found this at my parents' house. My mom had 2 of them, never actually took them out of their boxes. She probably got them somewhere after like an after Christmas sale, because she used to do a lot of like after Christmas sale shopping, and it just wasn't an ornament that I would have wanted on my tree, so I sold that. Next was a vintage Tupperware mix and store measuring cup. This sold for $19.99. So far I have found 2 of these while out at yard sales, and they've both sold. So if you ever come across these, I think they're a pretty quick flip. This one here was just a plain like white one with a white slash like clear lid, and then the last one that I sold, I'm pretty sure had an orange lid to it. One of these days I'm gonna keep one of the ones that I find because I think it would be really good for pancake batter, but I always end up selling them as soon as I find them, and that one I think I got at a yard sale for $1. Next was a set of Biggs and Feather.Belle soap. So it just had these little like travel sized bars of soap in. That sold for $11.69, and I got that at a yard sale for $1. I sold a Woolrich Fair Isle sweater. I can't remember where I got this. I had it for a very long time, so it might have been a fill-a-bag rummage sale, so I'm sure I didn't pay more than $1 for it, and that sold for $13.49. Next was a pair of Converse shoes. These were in the digital floral print. These were really pretty. They sold for $39.99, and I got those at a yard sale for $1. I like picking up Converse. I think they don't all sell super quick, but they do tend to sell. Next was a vintage handy foil Christmas tree cake pans. These were brand new, old stock. I think there was 2 pans in the package. These sold for $17.99, and I probably picked them up at a yard sale, so definitely no more than $1 I paid for those. Next was a set of Picard China salt and pepper shakers that sold for $13.99. Eric had found a bunch of these Picard China pieces at Goodwill one day, and they had them all in like these shoe boxes, and I forget what we paid for the shoe boxes, maybe like $4.99 or $5.99, I can't remember, but we pretty much sold everything from those sets of Picard China. We had 2 sets of the salt and pepper shakers, and the last set actually just sold yesterday, so that'll be in another CHING. So yeah, if you ever come across any of these Picard China pieces, they definitely sell. Some sold a lot faster than others, but they definitely still sold. Next was a little girl's US Polo Association outfit. This sold for $14.39, and this came from Eric and I had purchased a storage unit at one point, and I did a video on that. It was such a fun experience, and I'm dying to do it again. So hopefully one day in the not too distant future we can purchase another storage unit. We definitely at least made our money back on it, but I don't really know exactly what we might have profited from it. But yeah, it was just so much fun. It was a lot of work though. Anyway, that came from out of that storage unit. I still have some other stuff from that storage unit that I need to sell though. Next was a vintage Santa Claus Christmas card holder. That's what I had it described as. I honestly don't really know exactly what its purpose was, but I thought it was to hold Christmas cards. Anyway, that sold for $17.99, and I got that at a fill-a-bag rummage sale. So anytime I say I got something at a fill-a-bag rummage sale, average it out to like maybe I paid $1 or less for something because I stuffed my bag so full. Next was a pair of vintage Clossone. I will never pronounce that right, you guys. And you even like spell it out for me in the comments, and I see it, and then when I go to say it, I don't remember. Anyway, those sold for $12.99. They had a really pretty butterfly print on. Probably got those at a yard sale. I'm sure I didn't pay more than $1 for them. I have this big box as well as a big like zippered train case full of jewelry, absolutely filled, busting to the brim of jewelry that I need to list. And I am just, I don't know, I go, like when I go to list something, instead of grabbing from there, I grab other stuff, and I need to get through listing some of that jewelry. Let's see, next was that Tigger Christmas stocking. I got this recently at Goodwill. What did I pay? $1.99, I feel like. Anyway, that sold for $17.99. I sold that vintage Bayshore Ghost light up blow mold. I recently purchased this at a thrift store for $1.99, and that sold for $38.99. So that was exciting. You guys know I've been kind of obsessed with selling blow molds lately, so anytime I find one, I like to pick them up. And you know, that was Halloween related, and we're in December and it's still sold, so people are constantly looking for other holidays all the time. So I definitely like to say, if you have something and we're not even close to the holiday, still list it. Like, list your Christmas stuff in summer because it might still sell then. Next was a vintage Coach Madison Speedy purse. This sold for $59.99. I can't remember exactly where I got this. I don't know if I purchased it at a fill-a-bag rummage sale or a yard sale, but I would say I didn't spend any more than $5 on it. So that one was a good sale. Vintage Coach bags, I feel like sometimes are worth more than some of the newer ones. Not all the time, but sometimes. Next was an Irish Perry & Donegal teacup and saucer. Got this at a yard sale. I think I paid maybe $2 for it, and that sold for $17.99. Kind of interesting. The person who purchased this asked me if I could gift wrap it and put a note on it. I don't have a problem with doing that. I'm at the point, like, you know, I'm a reseller, it's my job, but like, I'm not at the point where like I have 50 million packages I need to ship out a day, you know what I mean? So right now I have the time to do stuff like that, so I didn't have a problem accommodating the buyer. So I did. I went upstairs, I wrapped it all nicely in some gift wrap and wrote out like a little gift tag and everything like that, and I got a positive feedback from them. They were really happy about it. So yeah, if I get like requests like that, I don't mind. If I ever got to the point where like I was selling like a ton of stuff and I had like tons of packages to ship out every day, I don't ever see me getting to that point, but if I ever would, I would probably put like in, you know, whatever, like charge just a little bit for a gift wrapping type service. Not to toot my own horn, but I think I do a pretty good job with gift wrapping. So yeah, if I ever got to the point where like I didn't really essentially have a lot of time to do it, I might consider charging just a little bit extra for the time and, you know, the what is the word I'm looking for? Supplies. There we go. The supplies like going into it. Anyway, next was this was a little tiny Waterford Christmas tree ornament that sold for $13.49, and I got that at a yard sale for $1. This next one was a really good sale. This was a vintage from the 90s Axo Motocross shirt. I got this at a yard sale. I paid $2 for it and it sold for $89.99. So that was a really exciting find. When I saw these, I was pretty happy about finding them because you could tell that they were older, very brightly like colored, and you know, vintage shirts in general I think do really, really, really well. So that was exciting, and I have one more yet that I have to list. So there was another one I remember at that yard sale because there were 3 altogether, but the one was in really bad condition. It had a lot of like staining and stuff like that, and it didn't have as many like nice bright colors on it, so I didn't get that one. I mean, that one might have still been able to be sold, but we got some decent amount of snow, so if you hear like snow blowers or something outside, that's what it is. Next was a pair of Talbots Heels. I had these for a while. They took a long time to sell. They sold for $29.99, and I got those at a yard sale, and I'm pretty sure I paid like $3 for them at the most. They were brand new though, I do remember that. Next was another one of those Wheaton glass spice jars. This one was for turmeric. I think in my last CHING video, I think it was this one that someone purchased it and then wanted to cancel their order, and then I relisted it and it sold again anyway, and I think it was this spice jar. It sold for $15.99. Every time I do a CHING where I sell one of these spice jars, I say like, Wheaton glass spice jars, every single one I have listed has sold. I am down to one more that I have to list. Next was a pair of boots by a company called Antelope. I got these at a yard sale for, I believe I paid $4 for them, and they sold for $39.99. Okay. Alright, so the next batch of stuff that I'm going to be going through, I'm still having issues with things not, well, everyone is having issues with USPS and stuff still not being delivered. So there are some in this CHING that have yet to be delivered. They're moving, thankfully, and I'll get to this at the end of the video. Everyone has been very, very, very nice about this. Like, I haven't really caught much grief about, you know, people asking like where their packages are. Everyone is being like very calm about it and understanding, so hopefully it remains that way. But there is some stuff on here that still has not been delivered. This next one has not been delivered yet. It was a Lulu Guinness scarf. I got this at the Goodwill bins. That sold for $9.89. And it has not been delivered yet. Next was a portobello floral and butterfly teacup. I got this at a yard sale. I'm pretty sure I paid $1 for it, and that sold for $17.99. That was really pretty. I debated on keeping it. A Lion King snow globe I got at a yard sale. I'm pretty sure I paid maybe around $4 for it. That sold for $29.99. I had also gotten another Disney snow globe from the same person at the yard sale, but not realizing when I had gotten home and I was looking it over to list it, there was a piece broken off. So I haven't listed it yet. I'm always on the fence about listing things that have damage to it. You know, some people don't mind, obviously, as long as you disclose, but there's always that part of me that feels like, you know, I don't want to, especially if someone doesn't read the auction description close enough, and then, you know, want to send it back, and then God knows if they package it a little wrong and then it comes back like completely busted, and, you know, it's a whole shenanigans with that. Next was that Rockdale pottery mug I recently purchased at a thrift store. I'm pretty sure I paid $2 for that, and that sold for $20.50. Also, the same day I purchased that at the thrift store, I got this next item, that Bella Poopy doll. I only paid $1 for it. She was only $1 at the thrift store, and I put her up on auction because I wasn't quite sure what to charge for her, and she ended at $29. So I'm happy with that. $1 to $29, like that's not bad. Next was Eric had gotten a bunch of these Kurt Adler Angel Heights sets at a yard sale. Eric, what did you pay for all of those Angel Heights? Do you remember? Yeah, it was like a whole bunch of them that he paid $50 for, and we sold a lot of them. This one was called the Angel Flight Skull, and that sold for $27.99. So we do still have some that haven't sold, but he did sell a lot of them. Let's see, next was a vintage springbok puzzle. This was just a smaller puzzle. It was called All Fished Out. I think I got this at a church rummage sale. I probably paid maybe 50 cents to $1 for it, and that sold for $9.99. So not a whole lot, but it was brand new, still sealed. I remember I had that in like the bottom of my bag because I wanted to look it up before I purchased it and then forgot about it, and then when I was checking out it was there, so I was like, whatever, we're buying it. Next was a vintage 1996 Tyco Doodle Bear. If you guys remember these, it was a bear that you could draw on essentially, and then when you washed him, I believe the doodles came out. I don't remember. That sold for $14.99, and I probably got that at a yard sale for less than $1. Are you behind me?
It's almost time.
Oh,
it's almost time.
It's almost time.
It's almost time.
It's almost time. How much longer do I have?
5 minutes.
Oh, goodness gracious. I'm not going to be done in 5 minutes. Do I need to pause this?
You don't have to pause this. You have to tell them.
Okay, let me write where I'm at. Alright guys, I gotta pause this video real quick because Eric is desperately trying to get a PS5 and they're about to go live soon, and I need to get on my phone and try to get one for him. So pause it, be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. Pretty sure we got one this time. Knock on wood that they don't try and cancel the order because I've been hearing people having those issues. I can't tell you how much of my life has been refreshing computer screens recently, trying to get a hold of a PS5. It's been insane, but Eric did get through. I was trying on my app and he was trying on the computer and his app, and finally got through. So crossing fingers that he finally got one. So anyway, we left off at the next item, which was a lot of those vintage sequin and felt handmade ornaments. You guys saw me unbox these in those Christmas mystery boxes that I got for free alongside the Curb from a Curb Alert. I put these all together, all of the felt and sequined ones, and those I put on auction and they sold for $61. So that was awesome. These were so well made, very beautiful ornaments, and I didn't pay a thing for them because someone had them out for the trash, which is very sad because I'm happy that I was able to save them from that demise. Speaking of demise, this next item was a very weird, I love weird stuff. Like, I am an absolute sucker for anything creepy and weird. So when I found this, I got this next item at an estate warehouse sale. So it was stuff that came from estates that didn't sell at the estate sale itself, and then the people who owned the, you know, the estate service that comes in and, you know, helps with the doing the estate sales, they have like a warehouse, and then they'll sell the stuff that didn't sell at the estate sales that they probably purchased from the people at like a discounted price, is what I'm assuming how it all works. Anyway, so it was a someone's deceased pet bird. The bird's tail, feather, and wing have been clipped off and put in a kind of like picture frame, and Yeah, I purchased it at this sale. I'm pretty sure I paid $1 for it, and I sold it for $19.99. I had it for a while. I had it on my computer desk as decor, just because I love, you know, like I said, I love creepy stuff like that. I don't like the fact, like, I don't like thinking that something like that's going to be thrown away. I mean, it was someone's pet. So I felt like I was kind of saving it when I purchased it, and then I just decided to sell it because, you know, I go through like things a lot where like I keep stuff for a while and then I just move it along to its next household type of thing. So that's what I did for that. Just a macabre auction. Yeah, I did put that on auction because I didn't know. I figure someone who collects oddities and stuff like that probably purchased it, and weirdly enough, I think the person's username that purchased that was something like "You're Next," which was really, really freaky considering what I was selling. But anyway, next thing was a Butilla Christmas Frosty the Snowman door cover. This was a felt kit, crafting kit. I got this at a yard sale. I think I paid $5 for it. But it sold for $39.99. I sold a bmikowski purse. This was beautiful, and I debated on keeping this for myself, but I didn't. I purchased it at a yard sale. I'm pretty sure I paid $4 for it, and it sold for $49.99. It was really, really pretty. Next was a Pittsburgh Steelers mug. I got this at a yard sale for $1, and it sold for $19.99. This is an item that has not been delivered yet. It is moving, but it hasn't been delivered yet. Same with the next item. This was a vintage kids play food Burger King Whopper. So it was just fake, made of like this plastic and vinyl material, and it came with like all the pieces to make like an actual Burger King Whopper. I got that at a yard sale for $1, and it sold for $20.49. But again, that hasn't actually made it to the buyer yet. Moving, but that's about it. Hasn't been delivered. I sold another set of pillowcases. These ones were by a company called Dan Lee, and they were blue floral pillowcases, brand new, old stock. I paid $1 for them, and they sold for $24.99. So it seems like my pillowcases are selling, but my sheet sets haven't sold yet. I do have some watchers on them. I do have them listed kind of high, but you know, if they don't sell for what I have them listed at, then you know, over time I will lower the price on those. Next was a Department 56 Santa Claus in a hot air balloon. Eric got this at a yard sale. He probably paid like $1 for it, and that sold for $24.99. It was Department 56, and some Department 56 does really well. Next was an Andrea by Sadek bowl. I will forever and always keep buying stuff by this brand as long as I'm getting it on the cheap, because I just love their stuff. I had this in my title as a soup bowl. I don't know if it actually was a soup bowl. I really don't know exactly, you know, I couldn't find another one exactly like it, so I wasn't sure. Anyway, it sold for $13.99, and I'm pretty sure I got that at a thrift store or a yard sale, probably for like $1. Next was a Parsley and Sage hoodie that sold for $19.99. I think Eric got this at Goodwill. He was thought that the print on it was unique, and I can't remember what we paid for it. My guess would be maybe $4 and some change. I sold a pair of vintage Woolrich Buffalo check plaid wool pants for $49.99, and I got these at the Goodwill bins. It's been so long since I've been to the Goodwill bins, and I want to go back. We've just been kind of ignoring it ever since Corona happened, because we figured if any place we'd get Corona, it would probably be at the bins, just because it's a very dirty place to begin with. So we haven't been back there since, but I do want to go back sometime soon. Next was a McFarlane Spawn figure. This belonged to Eric. He has a bunch of these toys from when he was younger. So he's been trying to sell some of those. This one sold for $89.99. So I'm sure that was way more than what he paid for it originally back when he was little. Or his mom paid for it, I should say. Next was a Lush Love Struck Bubble Bar. This was just part of my collection. I had this in my collection. You guys probably know, or at least some of you do, I'm a huge lover of Lush products. This was a bubble bar that wasn't one of my favorites, so I decided to sell it because they don't make it anymore. That sold for $15.99, but it hasn't been delivered yet. I think these next ones that haven't been delivered yet sold the auctions on December 11th. So it hasn't been like super long yet, but still not quite yet delivered. Next was a set of Two Temptations star-shaped casserole dishes. These also haven't been delivered yet. They sold for $29.99, and I think I paid $4 for them, like 2 a piece at a yard sale. Really, really pretty. Debated on keeping them, but decided to sell them. Next was a Dove Go Fresh Body Mist. Again, hasn't made it to its destination yet. This sold for $69.99, and I'm pretty sure I got it at a yard sale for $1 or 50 cents. These Dove Go Fresh Body Mist, some of the fragrances, you can't purchase them anymore. So definitely a hard to find fragrance that people are looking for. Next was a vintage Pepsi Chili Willy glass. Eric got this at a thrift store. I think he paid $1 for it, and that sold for $11.99. And then the last thing that I have for this cha-ching is a Etienne Agner purse. This one was really large, kind of almost like, you know, kind of reminded me of slightly like of a briefcase type style. But in shoulder bag form. That sold for $39.99, and I got that at a yard sale. I'm pretty sure I paid $2 for it. So that is everything for the cha-ching. Now I'm just going to talk about a little bit of issues that have arisen and just some things. So a lot, I wouldn't say a lot, 14 of these items in this specific cha-ching I sold because I ran a 10% off sale in my eBay store. So it was kind of nice because not only was it selling stuff, but you know, I'm also like getting rid of inventory kind of thing. So 14 items out of 50 of these sold via the 10% off sale. I had one order that I had to cancel on my end. It was another of the Kurt Adler Angel Heights figures. It sold for $9.99, but I had to refund the buyer because we noticed there was a break on it that we didn't notice before. So I wasn't comfortable, you know, I just went ahead and canceled the item. So that was a cancel. If you guys remember, in one of my cha-chings, I had sold a set of earrings and a brooch, and I put Sarah Coventry in the title because they were in a Sarah Coventry box, but you know, I made mention in the description and everywhere in the pictures that they were just kind of stored in a Sarah Coventry box. That's how I purchased them, but they weren't actually signed Sarah Coventry or anything like that. And in that video, I had said like the person was pretty upset by it and wanted to return them and everything like that. Well, they ended up not returning them. And I looked the other day and they left me a positive feedback. So I'm assuming they just decided to keep them, and they ended up, you know, liking them, even though they said that they thought they were junky looking or something like that. I remember them saying. So it was nice that, you know, they left me a positive feedback. I was willing to accept that return, and they, you know, would have got a full refund, but I guess they decided to keep the item. And then I do have a return coming back from a, hold on, I have it written down here. I sold a vintage Roper Western shirt for $20.69. That is being returned because the buyer says it's a women's shirt. I thought it was a men's. I had no idea. So that's coming back, and I will be refunding them their money. And then when I relist it, I'll have to, you know, actually fix it if it is a women's. I mean, I trust that it, you know, they were right, and I will have to fix my listing, but always still just make sure, like, when you have returns like that, just in case, you know, some people might just say something just so they can send the item back because they end up not wanting it. I feel like I had that once before. Someone said something was broke and then I got it back and it wasn't actually broken. But whatever, it's not a big deal. I mean, you have to accept returns, and that was my mistake. So that is a return coming back. And the only other thing I really have to talk about much is I haven't really been listing a whole lot lately, mainly because of USPS being so behind on shipping stuff. You know, the things that people are buying, I'm just assuming they want before Christmas, and there's no guarantee that they're going to get there before Christmas. So I haven't really been listing as much. Stuff is still selling, but because I'm not listing, and I think other people are kind of like catching on to the fact that, you know, the mail system is really behind, you know, I'm not getting as many sales, which is fine because, like I said, I'm not listing as much. But, you know, I am, as soon as Christmas is over and the new year starts, I'm going to be back into trying to get a bunch of stuff listed and hopefully sold, so we'll have plenty more chings all throughout next year. But that is everything for this video. You guys will have to let me know what you thought down below. You know, how things are for you if you are a reseller. Are you I'm assuming you're experiencing the same issues with USPS still, but what about your buyers? Have they been pretty good about being, you know, understanding about everything, or are they like on your butt, like wondering where their stuff is? So thankfully everyone has been really, really awesome so far as that goes, so I'm thankful for that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time.